Hi, my name is Carmen, and I am an early childhood special education teacher, a life and ADHD coach, and I'm the host of this podcast, Authentically ADHD. I created this podcast to help anyone wondering if they have ADHD, people who have been diagnosed for a while and want some more support and community. I'm here to bring you the latest research on ADHD and neurodiversities while we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of ADHD. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hey there, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm really happy that you clicked play today because there are a lot of misconceptions about coaching and a lot of issues in the industry that end up giving the good coaches a bad reputation. So today I'm here to explain what ADHD coaching is, the benefits of one-on-one and group coaching, and I'll be sharing my success stories and explaining kind of how it all works. And then I have some tips at the end for you so you can find the right coach for you if you decide to go that way. Are you ready? Let's get started. So, you may be wondering, what is coaching? Essentially, it's a collaborative process that helps ADHDers reach their goals. And ADHD coaches address the specific needs of a person with ADHD. It's a safe and supportive process that helps people manage and understand ADHD to work with their brains instead of fighting against them. Coaches use different models to help their clients see how they are creating the results that they're getting, good or bad. A good coach can help you reach your goals and gain self-confidence and self-worth. So, how does this work? Well, it's different for every coach, but the beginning of the process will look like kind of like you're just speaking pages of a thought download to the coach. So, in coaching, guidance is given by asking the right questions. What do I mean by the quote unquote right questions? Well, we question the narrative, untangling thoughts, facts, and emotions to show the client how their thoughts are triggering emotions, which are driving their action or inactions, which are creating their results, whether they like those results or not. Usually, it's when they don't like the results, that's when we work on it. We then guide the client through processes in order to shift their beliefs, in turn, shift their emotions and actions, creating more desired results. Coaching is not therapy or a mentorship, it's a collaborative improvement process. By process, I do mean that it takes more than like 1 or 2 sessions. I'm in a group coaching program myself as a coach. Like, even like, you know how they say therapists need therapists? Coaches need coaches. Okay. So I have one too. It takes time, but in my opinion, and in all of the clients that I've had with all my different endeavors and the clients that I've seen in my coaching program, I am confident that coaching works when you lean into the work. The specific thing about ADHD coaching is that the coach is ADHD informed, so they will know and understand your struggles with executive functioning, emotional regulation, and rejection sensitivity. Actually, most ADHD coaches that I know have ADHD themselves. I wouldn't be where I am now if I never joined my coaching program and if it weren't for coaching to begin with. I used to literally throw my emotions at my loved ones. I lost my keys and my phone several times a day, and I was on my second attempt to move out, which didn't end up working, and I had to move back home. I had been through tons of therapy and of different types. Like, I felt like I just needed more. Um, and I had been listening to the I Have ADHD podcast. And through listening to that, I learned a little bit about focus. by none other than the amazing Kristen Carter. So I joined and I challenged my negative beliefs about myself. I started building healthier habits and creating ADHD friendly routines and checklists. I've spent 2 years, almost 2.5 years, looking within, exploring my identity, and building my self trust and my self worth. Like I said, it's taken me 2.5 years, but I've learned how to manage, process, and shift my emotions. I've learned ways to make organization work for me, and I've learned the difference between my thoughts, the facts, and my emotions. And I can coach myself in order to get the results that I want. It's not easy. I cried a lot, but I also believe that healing happens in community. When you have a group of people or even another person who understands and validates you, it can shift so much in your life. I mean, even Dr. Hollowell says it himself. Vitamin C, vitamin connection, is one of the most important predictors for ADHDers to be successful. So I am now able to regulate my big emotions, even in the moment. I can identify when I am in a rumination cycle and I can sometimes pull out of it. I am becoming a person who trusts herself and works towards a purpose in alignment with my values. My life has changed immensely. My life has changed literally immensely. Now, this doesn't mean that I don't still make mistakes, that I don't still blow up at people. I'm still living at home and I still lose things and I can be messy. The difference is that I no longer identify with my symptoms as part of who I am. I no longer shame myself for the ADHD symptoms I struggle with. I know that that's like these things are not true, and I believe, that I am a good person who is trying her best, who has ADHD. So I struggle sometimes. I do believe that I am a great teacher and a great coach and an amazing podcaster. I love who I am, and I trust that I will figure it out, and I will take care of myself in the process. Now, I know it's hard to visualize, and your brain is probably throwing all the evidence about why it wouldn't work for you and all of the different things. Want to know how I know? I had the same thoughts. It's okay to think about it. It's okay to learn more. It's okay if you're not ready. I validate that. I truly do. But if you are here to learn even more about why ADHD coaching works, then here we go. First of all, it gives the ADHDer a sense of accountability. Having an appointment or a class or something that someone else is relying on us for makes it a little bit easier to follow through with it because it's a form of body doubling. Somebody else is relying on you. Like having someone else to be accountable to helps us a ton. Coaching also works for ADHD because we have big emotions that are hard to manage. A good coach will help you understand your emotions and guide you through ways to process them. They can help you improve your emotional literacy and guide you to become more regulated, which I feel is super important and valuable. Coaching also works for ADHDers because it's very accommodating for ADHD. The coach will specifically focus on the things we struggle with, such as time management, emotional dysregulation, and planning and prioritization. Coaching for ADHD works because it's a collaborative process. The client should always feel like they are part of the process, deciding what they want to work on and when. The coaching is whole client based, so the coach will also build trusting relationships with their clients. Coaching also works for ADHDers because it helps us to untangle our thoughts from our emotions and the facts of a situation. Because we feel our emotions so intensely, a lot of the time we end up letting those emotions take over, leading us to behaviors like yelling, throwing things, hitting things, and sometimes even completely shutting down. A good ADHD coach helps us look at situations, pull out what's actually happening, what our thoughts are about it, and what emotion that's coming up for us from those thoughts. A coach will do this in order to help you improve your emotional regulation so that you are able to go about your life and process the emotions along the way instead of avoiding them or throwing them at other people. A good ADHD coach will pull out your weaknesses and show you how to turn them into strengths and or assist you in building in personalized scaffolding for you to improve like in those areas. ADHD coaching helps us learn how our brain likes to plan, how to prioritize, and manage ourselves within time. In an ADHD coaching process, I've seen tremendous growth in building executive functioning skills, setting and achieving goals, and even just getting on track, like back on track after you've maybe gotten off track. A good ADHD coach will help you set ADHD friendly goals that are achievable. They guide you in breaking them down and giving you a sense of accountability and motivation. A good ADHD coach will be kind. They will validate your emotions, your perceptions, and your experiences. ADHD coaching also works because the coach will help you build a sense of identity. They will show you that you're not the problem in all situations, and they'll give you guidance on building a self concept that is positive and full of love. They can help you to unlearn beliefs like, I am lazy, I am a burden, I am useless, and all of the other negative parts of our self concept that we have adopted from others. They will help you through failures and they will help you detach your self concept from those negative self concept beliefs that we have learned over time from what we're told. I feel this is so important because you cannot grow through shame or negativity. You will learn to speak nicer to yourself and be compassionate with yourself and talk to yourself with kindness and validation. In my opinion, this is just as important as building emotional regulation skills. You need to have a positive self concept and identity in order to improve the symptoms that you want to improve. Like I said, growth takes patience, a shame free environment, and guidance by a good coach. Doing this on your own is also an option. Start with a thought download. Write out all the thoughts, all of them. Ask your brain what else until you can't write anymore. And then go through and pick out the facts, the things that cannot, like the things that can only be like proven in a court of law. Those are the facts. Anything else are your thoughts about it. Pick out an emotion and it'll help you to see how you're creating results and possibly, thoughts that you can shift in order to shift your emotion to create, better results. Although you can't do this on your own, it's better to start with a coach so that they can show you how to do it correctly so you're not trying to shift to an unreasonable emotion or to make sure that you're untangling your thoughts and facts and emotions correctly. Since sometimes our emotions are so strong, we don't really know the difference between our thoughts, emotions, and what the facts really are. So by now you may be wondering, what does this coaching look like? Well, it's first of all, it's going to look different in different settings. A one-on-one coaching relationship is going to be in sessions. And the first session usually is a little different because it's more geared towards getting to know the client. And the rest of the sessions kind of look like check-ins and then coaching and asking what was difficult or other digging questions to help you see how you may be holding yourself back or even, you know, when you're doing great but don't believe it. Now, in a group coaching environment, it's more so of bigger webinars and coaching like calls that you can raise your hand on and get coached. And then there's also classes to help you learn and understand yourself, especially in the program of Focused. There are 9 or 10, I want to say, courses that get released to you. So, like, you get 4 or 5 when you join, and then every 3 months, you get a few more because, as ADHDers, we don't want to be overloaded. But then there's weekly calls about different topics, and there's coaching calls every week so you can get help. And then there's one-on-one coaching available within my group coaching membership that I'm a part of. I personally do one-on-one coaching. So, usually you'll leave with some type of homework to build your skills with no pressure at all. That is probably the most broad way I could describe those different coaching kind of sessions and what it can look like. And it can look different in different settings too. And this leads me into finding a good coach. Essentially, you're trying to find the best coach for you in your season of life. So first of all, make sure you like the person. We don't learn, just like kids don't learn from teachers they don't like, we don't learn from people we don't like. So then make sure that this coach has credentials. Where did they learn these skills? Do they have a certification? Because right now there's an online culture of influencers out there who would tell you that they're a coach, but they've never actually been through a program or been certified. I also want you to take into consideration if the person that you want as a coach is giving you any helpful information for free. Why? Because that shows that they have more, and that shows that they have something deeper. And that shows that they have deeper skills. If they put out free content that has helped you, then the paid content should help you tenfold. As I close out here, here are some of the things to look for. Make sure you know what you're paying for. Look for a logo. Make sure that the person has some sort of business going on. Ask for an infographic on their business. Ask extra questions and things like that. Or is the person pushy about you joining or working with them? Do they make you feel comfortable? And don't be afraid to ask questions, honestly, because ADHD coaching changed my life. So I wanted to share this episode because I believe it can change a lot of people's lives. So I really hope this episode helped you understand coaching a little bit more and maybe learn why it could work for you. So you can use the link in my show notes to learn more about coaching with me, or join Focused, where you get money off and I get money off, which is great all around. So I really hope that this episode was helpful. And if there's something that you want me to talk about, please drop it in the little, any comment section below wherever you're listening, or just, send me over a DM on Instagram or something like that. And, it'll be great. So that's all I have for now. Stay authentic, and we will talk soon, my friends. Speaking of extra supports, I just wanted to tell you all that I've updated my Patreon page to include all of the resources that I've really ever made to be held in one place. Just head to my show notes. The VIP members do get a little extra, but you can also purchase my brand new Ultimate ADHD Journal and Planner, which I've been using for the past year. That has worked. Nothing is priced over $10, and everything is at least 50 to 100 pages that you can download and print. You can get it binded and sent to you, or you can just read it off your screen and use notebook paper. So if you want or need any type of that kind of extra support, just head to my show notes and click the Patreon link to join. I hope to see you in there. Hey ADHDer, are you looking for more support with your brain? Do you crave community with people who understand you? You should really check out Focused, the group coaching program I'm a part of that is for adults with ADHD. It's made and run by none other than Kristen Carter of the I Have ADHD podcast. I've grown so much by being in this program, using the tools, and being in the community for over a year now. If you use the link in my show notes, we both save money on this or next month's cost. So I think it's worth it. Go check it out at ihaveadhd.com/focused.